Hello everyone. Today we are going to see some real life examples of data structure. So before starting any subject, it is always better practice to know some real life example. So we'll start. First one. This is the data structure subject. In this subject, we are going to study few data structures like array, stack, queue, linked list, graph, and trees. Okay, so first, before moving towards the concept, we will see some examples. First one is an array. So here you can see the screen in front of you. The screen, every one of you have used the screen at least once. This is your online movie ticket booking screen. You can see your screen is over here, and these are nothing but the seats. Okay, so uh, if you observe this carefully, this is nothing but a two-dimensional array which consists number of rows and number of columns. You can observe this A, B, C, D. These are nothing but rows, and the vertical are nothing but your columns. So basically here you can see three different arrays are given. First one is your bronze array, which is having row A and row B. Second one is your silver array, which is having row C, D, E, and F. And the last one is your gold array, which is having two rows, that is G and H. Now suppose I want to book this seat. So this seat is having location in the gold array H1. Yes, in real life, the counting starts from 1, but in the programming language, the array indices are always start with the 0. Okay, so this is what the practical example of your two-dimensional array. Yes, next we'll move towards the stack. Now, stack, for this exam, the real life example is nothing but your processing of web pages. Yes, you can see, suppose initially I open my Google, my web page. By default, it is having Google. So I search SPPU and I hit enter. When I hit enter, that time it opens the website of SPPU in front of you. Okay. After that, suppose I want to check the syllabi part. So I'll simply, yeah, before that, when the uh, person comes on the particular search page, that means in previous example, you can see I have searched SPPU. So when the page is getting loaded, that time when stack is getting maintained. Okay, so you can observe the content of the stack is nothing but the URL of your current page. Okay, after that, suppose I want to check the syllabi, then when I clicked on the syllabi, you can observe the new URL is over here and the new page is getting loaded. Simultaneously, one more content is getting added in a stack, the URL of my syllabi page. Okay. After that, suppose I want to search some NPTEL lecture. So I'll click on a student corner where the NPTEL lectures are there. So you can observe when I clicked on a menu, the page is not getting changed. Okay, so I'm on the same page. That means when the page is remain same, that time the content are also same. It will not change your content. After that, suppose I clicked this NPTEL video lecture. So the page is getting loaded. So this is the home page of NPTEL lectures, and simultaneously you can observe the stack content is getting updated. After that, suppose I will check the computer science and engineering. So I clicked on that particular option. Inside that, I clicked on a data structure and algorithm option. So this is the page for data structure and algorithms. So here again, the new URL is getting stored in a stack. Okay, after that I just want to go back. So when I clicked on this particular previous button, So it is expected that it should load the previous page, correct? So suppose user has clicked on this previous button. So what will happen? The content of the top of the stack is getting removed from the stack and the page is getting reloaded. Okay. Now the current page you can observe the URL is over here is matched with the top of the stack. Okay. After that, again someone clicked on a back button. So I'm on a syllabi page. Again someone hit on the previous button. So I'm on a SCPU website. Again, I clicked on this previous button. So it is coming on my uh, Google page where I have started my search. So this is nothing but a stack which works on the concept last in, first out. Okay, whatever will come last, it get a chance to move out. Next is the queue data structure. So this is what the queue is. Ticket booking line is there. So what happened in a queue? Uh, there are two different ends. Okay, first end from where the person can enter in a queue, and second end from where a person can move out of the queue. Okay, so here uh, we never allow anyone to get in a uh, queue without being in a queue. I mean, so this way the person outside the queue are not entertained. Yes. So what will happen? Suppose this student is uh, sitting, the student is on the front of the queue and he got his ticket and then he will move out. So basically we can say queue works on a FIFO manner, that is first in, first out. Whoever is first in the queue, he can get out first. Okay, the next one is a linked list. So here you can see I have a music player in front of me. That music player is having suppose three different songs. So what will happen when you start listening your song? So first song is there, it get played when it ends. Implicitly, the second one is get started, and similarly, third one is getting started. Once you reach to the end of your third song, your playlist stops. Okay, that is what the linked list you can say. So here you can see this is nothing but a node. Okay, this node has two different parts. First one is a content and second one is a address of next node. So here you can observe uh, the song one is having a second part, that is location of your song 2 where it is getting saved. Similarly, when it comes to the song 2, it is having location of your song number 3. And when we comes to the end of the list, that time, as there is no further song, so it is null. Okay, so this is nothing but your single linked list. Next one is a circular linked list. So whenever the tracks are very favorite, so we just clicked on a repeat button. So what will happen when you are on a last song? At the end of that particular song, it is again getting started from the first song itself. So that is what the working of your circular linked list. So the one more example I can say, when you play online Ludo, so after fourth player, the control is getting transferred to the first player implicitly. Okay, so just see the node structure. So here up to this, it is common. Song 1, it is having a location of song 2 in the next part. Second node is having song 2 and it's a location of third song. Similarly, the third song node structure is quite different over here. So song 3 content are same, but the next part, it is having location of your song number 1, and this way it will generate a circular linked list. Next one is your doubly linked list. The name itself suggests you the buttons are given. Suppose you are on a second song and you clicked on this particular button, the song next, the previous song of current song is getting played. Similarly, suppose you are on a second song only and you clicked on this forward button, so the next song is getting played. That is what your doubly linked list. So the node structure is quite different. Here it is having two different pointers. The middle part is nothing but your data part. The right side is location of your right side node, that means next node, and left side is having location of your previous node. Okay, so you can observe before this first song you don't have anything. That's why the song 1 is not having any previous one, so it contains null. Song 1 is having next song, so after this song 1's node, song 2 node will be there, and the location of next of the song 1 here is nothing but address where your song 2 is getting saved. Similarly, you observe the song 2's node structure. Here, song 2's previous part is containing location of song 1, that is address where the song 1 is stored. And similarly, song 2's next part contains the location of song 3. Okay, and when it comes to song 3, obviously when we are on a song 3 and we clicked on the previous button, so we are expecting that it should run the it should play the song number 2. Okay, so obviously its previous part should contains location of song 2 so that it can manage that previous song. And as after song 3 there is nothing, so its next part is null. So this is your doubly linked list. Similar to this, we have doubly circular linked list. Now what happened in a doubly circular? The diagram is in front of you. When we are on a last song and after that, if I clicked on the next button, so in this case, it will take me to the first song over here. Okay. Now suppose I'm playing my first song, then I clicked on this previous button. So at this time, it is taking me to the last song of the list. So repeatedly, that means in a circular manner, you can run your playlist. Okay, node structure of doubly linked list is again same. Just the different is the previous part of your song 1 and the next part of your song 3 is not null this time. So what it contains, the previous part of song 1, it is containing address of your song 3. That means the last song, whatever last song is in your playlist, the location of that song is contained in the previous part of song 1, whereas the last song node is having a location of your first song of the playlist so that it runs in your circular manner. Okay, this is what your linked list, it is having variations like singly linked list, singly circular linked list, doubly linked list, and doubly circular linked list. Okay, now we will move towards the graph. So graph is nothing but collection of your vertices and edges. Now you can see in front of you I have taken one map. So in this map, you can observe the locations are nothing but we can say node, and the path to reach between one location to another location is nothing but your edges. Okay, so for example, if we take a Google map, so what Google map tells you, we find some location. So to reach that particular location, it gives you the shortest path. Actually, there are various paths to reach to the location. For example, I am at the Shivaji Nagar and I want to come to the Dhankaudi. So there are various paths to reach to the location. But what your Google Maps do, it gives you the nearest path. Okay, so these are nothing but some applications we can design with the help of graph, just like finding shortest path. That is what one application we have to study. Then the next one is a tree data structure. Now in a tree data structure, tree is just like it is having some root, it is having some leaf. So same thing is applicable over here. I'll give an example. So this is what the tree structure of file system of Linux. Now suppose I want to save one file on the suppose inside a bin I want to save something. So what I will do, I'll first open the root. After that, the first level, that is nothing but the folders are available inside the root directory. From that folder, I need to choose the home. When I clicked on a home, it contains these two different folders. Inside that, I'll choose this first one. Again, when I open this folder, it is having three different folders: bin, class stuff, and profile. Now, out of that, suppose I select bin because I decided to save my file inside a bin. So I'll just click on a bin and save my file. So this is what the hierarchical structure of tree is there, where the uh, topmost one is your root node, and the root is having the sub branches, that is your again root for another level. So for example, for being this file is nothing but your root. For this particular node, home is nothing but your root, and for home, this root is nothing but your main root of the tree structure. So this is all about the data structure we have to study in this particular course. Okay, we will stop over here. In next lecture, we will start with the array.